Good afternoon, sir. May I come
Yes,
in?
come in.
Good afternoon, sir. Good
Good
afternoon. ma'am.
afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Please be seated.
Thank you, sir.
Are you vaccinated?
Yes, sir.
You can remove your mask.
Yes, sir. I will do it.
Please introduce yourself to the board.
Good afternoon, sir. As you all know, my name is Narayan Amit. I was born in Visakhapatnam, but since my father is in the civil service, I have had the opportunity to travel to many places in India. Therefore, I have stayed in Hyderabad, Delhi, Kanpur, and Mumbai. I have graduated from IIT Kanpur in chemical engineering. My hobbies are to watch OTT platforms, and I wish to be a civil servant.
Okay, Narayan, your father is in the Indian Revenue Service, as I can see, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So, why have you not opted for the Revenue Service as your first preference, or even second preference for that matter?
So I think there are several reasons to it, sir. The major reason being that the promotional aspects in the Indian Administrative Service are much faster than the Indian Revenue Service, sir. In my mind, I think that is the major reason, sir.
Okay. Now that you have given second preference to Indian Police Service as your second choice,
Yes.
what do you mean by police reforms?
So in 2006, there was the Prakash Singh judgment, sir, in which the Supreme Court had given some guidelines for all states to implement, sir. That included various aspects, sir, that to separate the influence of the political executive from the police functioning. In addition, how to resolve the complaints at the district level. Various suggestions were given, sir. So the framework for police reforms in our country is based on the Prakash Singh case, sir. But many states have still not implemented them, sir.
One thing which worries me, whenever I go on road in a car, at the red light, traffic constable stops me for violating red light and issues a challan. I feel very insulted. I am an educated person, well educated person. He is only a 10th pass fellow. Should I listen to him?
Sir, I think the more educated we become, sir, the more responsibility lies on us to follow the rules properly. Therefore, in my view, sir, an educated person should be charged more for the same crime than a normal person, sir.
Okay, Amit. Tell me, what are the problems being faced by police, particularly at the constabulary level, while in the discharge of their duties?
So, I have seen several videos, sir, and one of the common complaints from the police is, especially at the constable level, is that they are not given the allowances, sir. For example, sir, there is only a set number of liters of petrol that a police station gets, sir, and it is supposed to ensure that all the works are done in that particular liters only, sir. So after that is exhausted, sir, they have to depend on the goodwill of the local community to do the policing work, sir. So major complaint from the police is that all the allowances and the resources must be given to them properly so that they can do their job, sir. In addition, sir, there is this heavy resource constraint, sir. Consequently, they are not able to register the appropriate number of FIRs, sir. And also the registering of the FIRs is seen as a negative consequence, sir, as it is thought that more FIRs means more number of crimes. So the police is not doing a good job, when in fact it is registering the cases and taking action, sir. So I think these are the major challenges at the
You are right, very much right. And what I understand, that police at the cutting edge level is really suffering from a lot of problems. Some of the problems we have already enumerated. Then the problem of infrastructure, problem of long duty hours, so which people in general don't appreciate, isn't it? The kind of hardship a constable goes through. Now, given the mandate to bring about improvement in their general condition, how will you move about it or go about it?
So to improve the life of the constable, sir, I think several steps can be taken, sir. Firstly, to ensure that whatever resources they need must be given to them, sir. In addition, sir, there must be a free and independent plus transparent way to deal with complaints that are lodged against them, sir. At the district level, we need to constitute a special authority to deal with complaints, sir. And this was also one of the recommendations of the Prakash Singh judgment, sir, so that they can do their work in a free and fair manner. Apart from that, sir, they need to be given new training, sir, so that to deal with the cutting edge crimes that are taking place. Also, sir, one of the other issue at the constable level is that, sir, the procedure in the Indian Evidence Act, the CRPC, is very tedious, sir. For example, sir, I am aware that while registering an FIR, he has to describe the entire events in a text format instead of taking a picture of the crime scene, which he cannot do under the current laws, sir.
But then why is that people are afraid of going to a police station to lodge an FIR?
So I think there are several reasons behind this, sir. Firstly, there is a perception about the police that they are reluctant to lodge the FIR and that they will not be cooperative. In addition, sir, many times it has been found that police have been reluctant to file the FIRs. So I think it is a majorly
you are
perception problem,
basically
sir.
an engineer. Do you have any idea in mind that once you are given the mandate, so you will bring in your engineering skill to make it more accountable and more transparent?
Yes, sir, I think an analytical approach to the problems of the police will be helpful, sir. For example, sir, in the DD Basu case also, the Supreme Court had listed 12 guidelines, sir, that whenever an accused is brought in, he must be read out his rights, and also every police station must have a CCTV camera. Each officer must be wearing his badge. I think all these things, if we follow, I think it will be leading to better policing, sir, smart policing.
Okay, last question before I wind up. Why politicians should require so many police constables for their protection in our country?
So I think in some cases there are genuine threats against politicians, sir, due to the nature of the work they have. But yes, sir, there is a problem of excessive police people being deployed for the security of the politicians when it is not necessary, and as a consequence, the general security of the public is hampered. So I think this is one of the analysis must be done, sir, of where the manpower can be spared, and it should be put to use of the general public. And every police station must undertake this, sir. And I think it is one of the first steps that should be taken to solve the personal problem.
Related question, suppose you are already an IPS, senior SP of a district. The MLA of the district wants police protection to be given to him. What will you do? You feel that it is not required. What will you do? And he is from the ruling party and a powerful MLA who had direct access to the chief minister.
So, firstly, I will forward the case to the Home Department, sir, to find if there are any credible intelligent inputs that he has some threats, sir. And I will do all the necessary procedures, sir. If the result comes out negative, then I will deny him the security, sir, after following the entire process, sir.
And willing to face the wrath?
Yes, sir, because I have followed the procedure, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Narayan.
Yes, sir.
Your name is almost synonymous to the Lord Vishnu, or it is closer to the name of the Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu has a good amount of wisdom. Can you compare your personality with Lord Vishnu in terms of wisdom, which is also required in administration, I would say?
So, I think firstly I am not comparable to Lord Vishnu, sir. But throughout my time, sir, I have been curious, sir. So I try to learn about new things. And I always try to be childlike, sir. So I think in that I might be getting some wisdom through experiences, sir.
Okay. Just pick one example from your past life and prove yourself that you have wisdom.
So I can relate one incident, sir, where my proactive nature had helped me, sir. Like when in 12th class, when I was taking admission into the IIT, sir. So there is an option for changing the branch, sir, after first year. But each IIT has different rules for branch change, and some are liberal, some are not liberal. So based on my research, I was able to go through all the rules, and I chose IIT Kanpur because it has liberal branch change policy. So after first year, I was able to change my branch. So having the foresight to go through the rules helped me, sir.
Okay, Narayan. This is your second attempt?
Yes, sir.
Suppose if you will not qualified in this attempt, then what you will do?
So last year I had gotten 289 ranks, sir. But I had not filled all the preferences, so I missed out on the service allocation by 4-5 ranks, sir.
Okay.
So I think this would be my best attempt, sir.
Okay.
But in mind, I want to still continue, sir, for a couple of years. But if it does not happen, sir, then I have two avenues in mind, sir. One would be a research-oriented job.
Okay, I wish for your success. You are a chemical engineer, right?
Yes, sir.
How administration can be or will be benefited to have a chemical engineer expert like you?
So I think with regard to my graduation, sir, there are two applications. So one is a direct way and the indirect way, sir. Direct way, I do not see that the laws of thermodynamics or very technical concepts will be directly relevant. But in indirect way, sir, an engineer has an analytical mindset. So it is helpful, sir. In addition, sir, since we have a separate ministry for chemicals and fertilizers, my knowledge in that field will be helpful, sir. And also pharmaceuticals is one of the sunrise sectors, sir. So in that aspect, I think my knowledge might be peripherally helpful, sir.
You are a chemical engineering expert or chemistry expert. How you will build a chemistry between you and your customer, or I would say the citizen? Any social engineering is required. You understand what in what sense I am using the term chemistry?
So I think, sir, speaking to people in the right way, in the approach they understand is necessary, sir, to get the message across. The message, the speaker and also the listener must be having a mindset to understand the issues and take a call, sir.
Okay. How can you establish a trust and confidence of your customer towards your administrative system?
So I think the most effective way is to do by example, sir. When people see that changes are happening, I think that speaks for a lot about the officer himself and what kind of way he wants to run his office in, sir. So by delivering, you have to prove the example, sir. In addition, sir, you must try to put yourself in the other person's shoes, sir, and see what are his major issues. Like for example, sir, many times people protest. So we must go and talk to them. Why are they protesting? Whether FIR is not registered or some grievance of them has not been heard. So I think that looking from their direction, having empathy is very important, sir.
Okay. Narayan, why 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen become water all the time? Why not fire? Why not anything else?
Sir, the oxygen has a valency of 2, sir. That means it has space for 2 electrons to come into it so that it becomes a stable orbit. Hydrogen provides 1 electron. That's why oxygen and hydrogen combine to form H2O, sir, because 2 hydrogens equal 1 oxygen.
Okay, how can we remove the stratification in our society, and how can we build a egalitarian class system? How can we remove the caste system in India?
So every type of society has its own system of stratification, sir. But in as per your question, to address the issue of the caste system, sir, I think primary socialization is very essential, sir, especially in schools. When people at a young age are ingrained that the interactions among various types of people are all right, I think that will have the biggest impact, sir. And once we grow up, sir, endogamy is one of the biggest reasons for the perpetuation of the caste system. So if endogamy among the caste is broken down, I think that will help in weakening the caste system. One more point I'm able to realize, sir, that politics and caste are very ingrained, sir. So if the vote banks are not voting according to their caste preferences, then also caste is weakened. But I think 2 major reasons are endogamy and politics, sir.
Got it.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Are you aware of the gravity of the problem of plastic pollution? Like, how much is the scale of our plastic waste production, national level, international level?
Sorry, ma'am, I'm not aware of it.
No? Have you heard of bioplastics?
Ma'am, I have only a faint knowledge of them, ma'am.
Okay.
That they are degradable by the molecular organisms. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we are working on that direction, right? Making
ma'am.
plastic biodegradable.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And in the context of energy security, can you tell me some of the other strategies we are trying to harness, especially regarding to the chemical energy?
Ma'am, since our current energy mix is highly skewed in favor of oil, ma'am, so for energy security, we need to diversify into renewable sources, especially with respect to the chemical sector, ma'am. We are going in the direction of green hydrogen, which is very renewable. Apart from that, as per the Kasturi Rangan committee, we are setting up new waste to heat plants where the waste from the municipalities and the cities is being incinerated and the heat is used to generate electricity.
Can you enumerate some of the wastes used? What kind of wastes are used? Can you name some of the ingredients or types of waste which can be used?
Like the type of waste generated or the used for?
To generate electricity. What kind of waste do we use? When you say waste to energy,
Yes,
what actually constitute waste in that?
So yes, ma'am. So many of the waste that are there are the organic products, such as various fruits or vegetables that have decomposed.
Okay.
Apart from that, paper products are also there in that waste, ma'am.
Okay.
And in addition, any of the plant material or the other organic material is there, ma'am.
Only organic?
I'm not completely sure, ma'am.
You're not completely sure. Okay. Are you aware of generic medicine as a... what actually are generic medicines?
Ma'am, since medicine has become a very specialized field nowadays, it takes a lot of effort to create the medicine. So many companies, they have a patent for 20 or 50 years over the medicine. But after that patent expires, or even when the patent is there, due to compulsory licensing, many of the developing countries can make versions of the medicine that are as effective, but they are not branded as such.
Okay. So is that a right thing to do? won't it hamper research and development if the same medicine is available at a cheaper cost?
Ma'am, I think there are several aspects to the issue, ma'am. I think there needs to be a rationalization of the intellectual property regime, especially in the developed countries. We see that many of the companies are evergreening their patents by simply introducing a non-functional modification. Apart from that, ma'am, the needs of the developing countries also must be taken into account, especially the pain, to ease the pain and suffering of the person suffering from the disease. And as per our regime, ma'am, in the Patent Act, there is a provision for compulsory licensing in the greater public interest.
Okay. My last question to you would be, you're posted as a DM in a district in, say, a southern state, any of them, and you witness a flash flood. So what all strategies or what all steps you would take in totality from start to the end? Take a few seconds if you want to, but give me a plan.
Ma'am, in our approach to any disaster that has affected the people, we must shift from a reactive approach to a proactive approach, ma'am.
Flash flood has already happened.
Yes, ma'am. So I am including both the aspects, ma'am.
Okay.
What I will do for the future.
You can't include proactive steps now.
Yes, ma'am. That would be after the immediate. So in the immediate steps, ma'am, would be to provide relief for the people who are affected by the flash flood. I will call the NDRF teams that are on standby in the state and bring them to the location to assist the people. In addition, we must coordinate with various of the NGOs and take their help to get the adequate food rations. In addition, we
only have NGOs to supply food. We don't have provisions in our own government setup to provide food.
We do have, ma'am. Both would be used to supplement the cause.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. In addition, ma'am, all the authorities in the particular district must be alerted for them to coordinate their efforts, ma'am. So I will set up an integrated center so that each one knows what their part in solving the problem is. So these would be the initial few steps I would take, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Narayan,
Yes, ma'am.
you are a chemical engineer. What are chemical weapons? Can you tell me which are the potential chemicals which can be used as weapons?
Ma'am, chemical weapons are one of the type of weapon of mass destruction, ma'am.
Right.
And there are several chemical weapons, ma'am. Firstly, we have sarin gas as a chemical weapon. Then we have phosgene. We have chlorine also. In addition, there are new specialty chemicals such as Novichok that was used in UK Salisbury attack, ma'am. So these are like, if you give even 1 milligram also, the person might be poisoned. So these.
There are allegations against Russia that chemical weapons have been used in Ukraine. Are you aware?
Yes, ma'am. There have been allegations. Yes, ma'am.
What type of chemical weapons?
I'm not exactly sure, ma'am.
Okay, no problem. Recently, government brought in a bill with respect to weapons of mass destruction. Can you tell me something about that?
Sorry, ma'am. I'm not aware of the bill.
Okay. What do you understand by denotified tribes?
Ma'am, in the history of our country, there were several of the tribes that were nomadic in nature, or they were engaged in various activities such as acrobatics, or even to some extent habitual robbery. So the British labeled them as denotified tribes, as criminal tribes.
Okay.
The criminal tribes under the Criminal Tribes Act of 1871, ma'am. So I think more than them being criminal in nature, the stigma was attached to them, and there were many restrictions imposed on them that if they go to a particular place, they have to register at the police station. Their kids will be taken away from them and kept in concentration camps and de-addicted from this habit of smuggling. But after independence, ma'am, in 1952, the Habitual Offenders Act was introduced in place of the Criminal Tribes Act, and as such, we cannot say by birth a person is criminal. So that was abolished, and these tribes that were erstwhile they called the criminal tribes became denotified tribes.
And are these denotified tribes reclassified under scheduled tribe, scheduled caste, any of these categories?
Ma'am, I think this is a very important issue that many of the denotified tribes are not in any list, ma'am. They are not in the SC list, OBC list, or SC list. And this was highlighted by the IDATE Commission 2018 that almost 10 crore people in India do not get any protection, and many people are not aware of their hardship and sufferings.
Okay. When we talk of tribal development, there are two approaches that are discussed. One is the Warrior-Elwin's approach,
yes,
that is isolationist approach, and other is the nationalist approach or G.S. Ghure's approach to completely integrate them. And then there is this Panchsheel by Nehru. Which approach do you identify most with, which would be good for tribal development in India?
Yes. At the time of independence, ma'am, this was one of the major debates with respect to how to deal with the tribal question per se. So, ma'am, the constitution envisages an integrative approach, ma'am, but the working has been slightly different, ma'am. For the mainland tribals in mainland India, we have the 5th schedule of the constitution, but for the tribals of the northeast, we have the 6th schedule of the constitution, which provides more protections for them. In the mainland India, ma'am, unfortunately, the 5th schedule has not been able to protect the tribals. So what we are seeing is an assimilation of the tribals. But in the northeast, the tribals have been able to retain control over the resources and protect their culture. So there we are seeing an integration of the tribals.
Integration?
Yes, ma'am.
Complete integration?
Integration, they are connected with the mainstream of the society, ma'am.
Okay.
But in the mainland India, the tribals are being subsumed by the mainstream.
That both the things mean the same. In the northeast, what you are saying, that in the northeast they have been integrated in the mainstream, also they are, you know, subsumed with the mainstream society.
Ma'am, assimilation is a dominance that the mainstream is doing on them. Integration is that, yes, they are able to retain their culture, but there is a connect with the mainstream, which is a good thing.
So nowhere do we have isolationist approach in India. What about Andaman Nicobar?
Yes, ma'am. For few of the tribes, we have followed the isolationist approach, ma'am, such as the Sentinelese tribe in Andaman and Nicobar.
Okay, my last question to you, what do you understand by stagflation, and in the scenario of stagflation, what should be the monetary policy?
Ma'am, the term stagflation was coined in the 1970s, ma'am, and it is a very complex economic situation where we have high inflation and high levels of employment. So many of
high
the
levels of employment?
Unemployment, sorry,
Okay.
ma'am, thank you.
Yes.
High levels of unemployment and high levels of inflation. So many of the monetary policy tools that were available to us to deal with the problem are not available. So this is a very complex solution that needs systemic reforms, ma'am, to target unemployment and reduce inefficiencies in the economy, such as labor reforms might be needed to ease the labor market.
So nothing in monetary policy terms could be done. Only fiscal policy would be of help. That is what you are saying?
I think, ma'am, each country needs to assess its own situation, ma'am. If there might be room for reducing the monetary policy, but it depends on the country's position, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Narayan.
Thank you, ma'am.
Narayan,
Yes, sir.
why Constitution is called a living document? If we are saying that certain parts of it will not change ever, then how can it be a living document?
So the final interpretation of the Constitution is based on the Supreme Court, sir. And in many instances, the interpretation of the Constitution has changed, such as in the Maneka Gandhi case, sir. Article 21 was reinterpreted that it is not simply the bodily integrity, but right to life and fulfillment. So I think the interpretation and new doctrines are always brought in, such as constitutional morality was brought in.
Okay, like connected to this, I would like to know, in your opinion, what is needed in India now? Judicial activism or judicial restraint? Which is needed more?
So I would like to address in two parts, sir. Wherever there is executive lacuna, sir, such as in the euthanasia case or the prisoner rights case, I think in those aspects the judiciary needs to be proactive and ensure that justice is being delivered, sir. But where the executive has done its part, sir, and is taking proactive decisions, I think in those aspects judiciary restraint is required. Such as the Central Vista case, sir, the judiciary showed restraint in saying that it is the prerogative of the government to construct the new parliament and secretariat.
Like what is this OPCW? This is international grouping.
Yes.
What is its aim?
So the Organization for Prohibition of Chemical Weapons was it is a consequence of the Chemical Weapons Convention of 1992, sir, in which complete ban is there on the production, stockpiling, and it even ensures destruction of the chemical weapons. So monitoring is done by OPCW, sir, which is headquartered at The Hague, sir.
Okay, and what is this Australia group?
So the Australia group was formed in 1985, sir, and it is a multilateral export control regime, sir, that applies on both chemical weapons and biological weapons, and it is much stricter than the Chemical Weapons Convention.
Okay, is India part of Australia group?
Yes, India is a part of Australia group in 2018. To the best of my knowledge, it has joined, sir.
India joined this Australia group or MTCR or both?
I'm not exactly sure, sir.
Okay, fine. My final question to you, we are seeing that India has gone for repeated abstentions in the Ukraine issue, and in a way abstaining is like supporting Russia. Okay, we cannot fool anybody. So do you think it is right on the part of India, morally right to do that?
So the Ukraine issue for India is a very extremely complex foreign affair undertaking, sir, because Russia has been our all-weather friend since 50 years, And our relationship with Russia is very complex, sir. It is very nuanced in respect to our defense dealings, in respect to our oil dealings. Even though Russia and China synergy is increasing, sir, but our relationship with Russia remains strong. They support us on a lot of issues, sir, such as the Kashmir issue, and also even in the ICJ, sir, ICJ, International Court of Justice, they had voted for our nominee, Shri Sanjay Bhandari.
My question is it morally right to support Russia?
Yes, sir.
When it is clearly in the wrong?
I think, sir, in international politics, the realism is the one which ultimately prevails, sir. So, based on our national interest, I think we must support Russia, sir.
Thank you. Sir.
Narayan, do you have a scientific temperament?
Yes, sir.
You have. Do you think that parallel universe exists?
Sir, yes, I do believe it exists, sir.
Oh, tell us, how do you believe?
Sir, now the dominant theory about the nature of reality is the theory of quantum mechanics, sir. And there are various principles, sir, to suggest that at each moment there is a split happening, sir, because of the quantum states that are there, based on the principle of superposition, based on the principle of entanglement, sir. So based on that, I feel that each moment we take a decision, we are faced with two or many possibilities, sir. This experiment was done by Schrodinger's cat also, sir, wherein until you observe the event, all possibilities are there, and the moment you observe, there is a split in the time space.
Okay, thank you very much. Narayan, your interview is over. You may go now.
Thank you very much. Thank you all members. Thank you, sir. May I come in, sir?
Sit. This is your second attempt, you said, na?
Yes, sir.
Last time, how much did you get?
I got 187, sir.
187. You should not be getting anything less than that.
Yes.
Very good personality. And why did you not opt for other services? Where did you land up last year?
I'm not in any service, sir.
Last year, what happened? You said that you indicated a few services only.
My rank was 289, sir.
That's why.
And Indian Audits and Account Service closed at 286, sir.
And beyond that, you had not opted for any other service?
No, sir. I had not filled.
This time, what have you done?
I have given 2-3 more references, sir.
Okay.
Actually, sir, my preparation was not complete that time. Now I am prepared, so I think I can join any service now.
Okay. Because that question, I don't know whether it is in the knowledge of board or not. I am not aware. But if it is in the knowledge of board, then they will ask you to clarify. Last time, why you had indicated only limited number of choices, and why shift and change of heart now?
Only 2 services extra I have filled, sir, this time.
This time also, they are quite selective.
Yes, sir.
Suppose if you don't get into all those services, then what happens?
I will write again, sir, or
you are confident of getting into one.
Yes, sir.
That's a good this thing. Overall, I have nothing much to tell you. You are a wonderful candidate for the civil services. You have gone through this grill. You know how it happens there. Few things we wanted to tell you just to further improve, so that you are in the bracket of 200 plus in the interview. So, while speaking, don't try to go beyond what is asked.
Yes, sir.
That is what is important. Particularly for a person like you, who is otherwise so knowledgeable, who understands subjects and can interact on a variety of subjects, it becomes difficult to control himself.
Yes.
Isn't it? So, like for the very first question was asked by me, why should a 10th pass constable should question me and my wisdom? Why should I pay? Then you have to say the law is for everybody.
Yes.
Instead of that, you said that the educated people should be charged more.
Yes, sir.
That was a hyperbole.
Yes, sir.
It was not required.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
You will agree with me. It's such type of this thing. An offense is an offense committed by you, me, or any third person, and law is common to all the three.
Yes, sir.
So the constable will deal with as per the law. That is, he is performing his duty only.
Yes.
So that speaks of your that hyperbole nature.
Yes, sir.
So don't go beyond your brief.
Yes, sir.
That is very important.
Yes, sir.
Then, because you are a wonderful person, that is why I am telling you all these things. So
yes,
these are small things.
Definitely, sir.
Then you are wearing something in your this thing, na? Finger and wrist.
Yes, sir.
What is this?
They are rings and one bracelet, sir.
Just rings, and you'll be going for the interview with this.
Yes, sir.
So question may be asked, why are you wearing bracelet?
Yes, sir.
So what is your answer? So suppose I am asking you, why are you wearing bracelet?
Sir, the bracelet is simply for stylistic purpose, sir, and
You are a stylish person.
I think it adds little
So
flair
once you
to
get into the civil services, you will try to demonstrate your power and your authority.
No, sir.
So stylish also, I think, if it is for any religious purpose, your own ethical values or own belief system or something out of this, or your family tradition and all that, is okay.
Yes,
But
sir.
don't ever utter this kind of a word for stylish purpose and all that.
Yes.
That's not good.
Yes,
That's
I'll
not
remove
good.
this one.
If you remove, this is best,
Yes.
so that you don't give them an opportunity, because it got our attention also. It may catch their attention
Definitely.
also.
I'll just wear the rings, sir.
And otherwise, no fault. We couldn't find any fault with you. A wonderful personality. The traits which UPSC looks from a civil servant, you are aware of that. So all those traits are there in abundance with you, and God willing, you should be doing pretty well. How have you done in your written this time?
So the major thing I was changing, sir, is optional. I think optional was the major change this time, sir.
So last time was what?
No, optional performance I meant, sir.
Performance, you
Yes,
mean?
sir.
Okay.
I think I did much better in optional this time than last year, sir. I think that was the major change. General studies went, I think, more or less same only, sir.
Then
Essay also was same only.
Then I will not be surprised if you are in the top 100.
Yes.
I will not be surprised.
Thank
So
you,
just
sir.
do well, keep your head on your shoulder,
Yes, sir.
isn't it? That is what is important. Maintain a very cool stance, very calm and quiet. Otherwise, not quiet, calm and cool, I must say, with a very positive body language, and very engaging type of, and always very inquisitive type of person with a smile in your face.
Yes,
So
sir.
all these things are going to give you very good marks, and you will get, no doubt about it.
Thank
Okay,
you.
all the
Thank you
best
very
to you.
much. Thank you very much. Thank you.